My third upload today is with regard to the matter of the human rights abuses and the constitutional wrongdoings that I'm still awaiting to be addressed. Now, as I've mentioned throughout all of these uploads, it is repetitious, but I have been waiting 3 years for the issues of treason to be addressed and obligations to be fulfilled. Now, there's a matter arising with regard to distortion and disinformation and the issue of individuals utilising light fragments for exploitative measures that they had no consent to. Now, that's just one aspect of all of this, and that has involved damages, as I've mentioned throughout my uploads, to bodily anatomy and sacred light. Now, I'm a married mother, and there has been a lot of trouble caused for me as a married mother. There's been a lot of trouble caused for my child as well as a young person. And the government have been notified since 2017 about all of this, and it's quite serious that I'm still waiting for the protection entitlements that are rightfully mine to be respected, and the issue of individuals that are preoccupied with my property causing an awful problem still being hazardous to human life. So I am a recovery advocate also. And as I've mentioned throughout these uploads, the issue of people being defamatory and such with regard to matters is a concern for me due to my work with recovery and the legislative developments that have come about as a consequence of my work in recovery. So there's all of these matters that I have to keep reiterating due to the delay or the obstruction of the relevant services and measures to be in place. Now, there isn't any reason why my rights and my entitlements shouldn't be respected like any other citizen, but there's hate crime, and there's treason, and there's property theft, and there is exploitation, and there is defamation. Now, it's common knowledge, it's an open secret that I've experienced spiritual violence since 2016. It's common knowledge that damages have been done to my light body, and everybody is fully aware that the source of my light fragments has been damaged by individuals causing me offence and disrespecting the source of all that they have damaged. So that's a big issue with regard to these human rights abuses, and it's quite disrespectful amongst other matters that are disrespectful to matrimony. Now, people that are intruding upon a couple's nuptials and disrupting a family unit for avaricious purposes isn't always beneficial. So there has been a collective effort with an objective to displace, denigrate, disrespect, defame, and debase. So that's what I'm experiencing. The relevant agencies have not fulfilled their obligations. They have not performed their duties, roles, and positions properly. They have just been waylaid or blindsided, or just deciding that they are going to facilitate treason and hate crime. Now, that's a human rights issue, and that's an injustice, and that's discrimination, that's inequality. So that's all very serious when it is pertaining to sacred. And it's also quite serious when it's pertaining to matrimony and property and injustice and discrimination. So I'm very curious how any modern day services, agencies, politicians, practitioners, professionals would be able to plausibly justify what I'm tolerating unjustifiably. It's unjustifiable, and individuals obstructing the course of justice to facilitate other people's agendas that are harmful is not positive. So those that have acquisition purposes or objectives have damaged a family. They have damaged a family, and they have damaged a very important piece of legislation. They've damaged progress, and they've damaged sacred light, and they did not have proper procedures in place in 2016 when they commenced damaging my light body. So that's just one aspect of all of this. So those profiteers exploiting for monetary gains from a woman that has been working nearly 30 years is an issue that I am raising for the attention of the honourable professionals, practitioners and politicians to address. The individuals in my proximity that are hazardous to life is not beneficial to anybody. Walking into another person's life in such a short space of time with such poor foundations and poor practices as has been the case, there have been failed efforts. There have not been proper procedures performed, and I'm still awaiting for proper protocol. So there have been poor foundations laid. My good humanitarian work and legislation input has been disrespected. The damages, harms and losses are inestimable, and there are repeat offenders in society, and there are people already after experiencing the negative consequences of these liabilities. So I'm really curious how a modern day society in a democracy is justifying what I'm experiencing to accommodate avarice. It's simple as that. These people have absolutely no entitlement to any of my property or any of my purposeful work. So there is an issue. The authorities have benefited from my good work. The authorities are fully aware, I hope they remember, of matters prior to and since 2017-2018. So I'm just wondering how the authorities are feeling about my entitlements and my good name, character and reputation being disrespected, jeopardised, threatened or harmed. That shouldn't be commonplace tolerability at all. And there is protocol for royal patronage. So the individuals that have overlooked the issue of treason, sacred, poor gains, poor acquisitions, bad debts that I'm owed since 2006, it's all very embarrassing, it's all very serious. So I'd appreciate the relevant authorities ensuring that proximity, privacy and protection are respected like every other individual's entitlements are to be respected. The issue in this community in Tralee, County Kerry, due to a collective of individuals that are comfortable with trespassing and intruding and such, are not very helpful to family and faith for the future. So those of good faith, I hope, are aware of the seriousness of this issue and the matter of treason, of course, with regard to my Fernandez royal bloodline.